What's up, guys? So today we're going to be talking about how much we spend in the Philippines, and we're also going to compare how much we spend back in Europe, in Germany, in Ireland, and kind of give you a little bit of comparison between the two.
Yeah, pretty much a full overview, whether it comes to like cost of an apartment, electricity and water, maybe food when you go out, just transportation in general, for example. And then we have the numbers. You know what you can do with numbers? We can compare them.
So I'm gonna start first in terms of how much I paid for my old condos since 2019. So I'll start with the first condo. So I moved to a place called Aqua Private Residences in Mandaluyong, and it was a small unit, 24 square meter with a small balcony, very, very small. And I thought I was getting a good deal. I was paying 24,000 for a 24 square meter unit. That's very...
Doesn't sound like a good deal to me.
And it's in Mandaluyong, so
yeah.
I thought I was getting a good deal because I got 5,000 off from the parking. So it was already almost 30K for the parking in total. So then after that, I moved to Pasig, a place called Sheridan Towers. I paid there 27K for a 27K for a 56 square meter unit.
That's bad
And
compared to the first place.
literally right beside Aqua, maybe like a 10-minute drive with the scooter.
Yeah.
So, and you're actually technically closer to BGC because they were building that Uptown Bridge at the time. So you can see the difference of just by looking just a little bit more, sometimes you can find some really good deals. After that, my third place was in McKinley Hill. Now that place,
I like that place.
yeah. It's like a bachelor's unit, a loft unit. It was a 66 square meter unit, something like that. Now I had a deal, obviously, in that unit, and I was paying 20K. So now I was paying so much more cheaper than the other two units. Now it was unfurnished, but then again, you can just spend like not much money buying furniture, and then you can resell it.
True.
So it's like a win-win situation. So that was my best unit ever. And it was just huge, large windows, and yeah, 20,000 pesos. Now, my other unit, the one before, is also in McKinley. That was a very small one. That's like 26 square meters. Yeah, 26. And that's 16K. Now, it was actually initially 20K, but in the Philippines, I don't know if you can do this in Germany or in Ireland, but in order to get the unit for cheaper, you can pay 6 months in advance or up to a year in advance, and they take a lot of the...
Then there's also a cash discount that they offer sometimes.
Yeah.
Even in stores when you buy normal things. Sometimes like 7 to 10% even.
Yeah, when you buy the phone, if you pay with cash, it's like example 50K. If you pay with card, it's like 55 or something. So you can do it here with the condos where I paid 6 months in advance, and instead of paying 20K a month, I pay 16K a month, which is very handy. Now, that was during quarantine, prices were very cheap. So anybody during quarantine that wanted to move to BGC, you can get some really good deals. That's over now. If you go and rent pad, Lemuri, prices are back to normal now. If you move to BGC for a 1-bedroom apartment, it will cost you roughly around 35 to 40K for like a 30 square meter unit.
How about Simon's place? If you were to get his place now, would it be still the same price?
Not a chance.
No.
So one of our friends, we're not gonna say where he lives, but it's right there. So he paid 25K for his unit. It's like a 58 square meters in BGC, but he paid 1 year in advance. So that's about 25K 1 year in advance, about $6,000.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a bit of money to pay $6,000 right there, cash. But you do save a lot of money. Now this is quarantine prices. Everything has gone up. Even if you're not living in BGC, if you're living in Mandaluyong, Pasig, Makati, Makati's always been as expensive now as it is in BGC because you have the
Yeah, but I don't know, I feel like I'd rather live in BGC and then go to Makati for like certain things, whatever they have to offer. It's the same with Rockwell. It's nice to look at Rockwell. I don't really want to live there. It just fits, like BGC fits like a whole area where you just walk around and you can get anywhere. And Makati seems more like car friendly.
I like
that makes
Makati.
Sense. You do?
I have always liked Makati.
And why don't you move there?
It's because the problem is traffic, right? So if all my friends are living in BGC and I live in Makati, the hassle of having to go back and forth with the traffic, it gets a little bit annoying. But I like Makati just by the fact that it's more chilled. It's more Philippines than BGC, right? So
yeah, the other modern city over there is more Philippines than the modern city here.
I mean, actually, it is.
I don't know, I
in
never
a
lived
sense.
this, so
Yeah,
I
it
can't
is in a
tell.
sense. It's more chilled. That's the reason why I kind of like living in places like Pasig, Mandaluyong. I mean, BGC is still nice, of course. I mean, you get everything. It's just obviously more expensive, right?
Yeah.
But if you were to compare that to Ireland, what you get for your money's worth, oof,
You get a lot more here.
I was paying 15k, no, almost 20k. I'm gonna say Filipino peso, right? In Ireland for a unit. It was almost the size of Harry Potter's room.
Oof. Under the
It
staircase.
was, I would say. So first of all, this is a place where you share with other people. So you're living with 3 other people. You have your own room. My room was about like, I would say 12 square meters. If
Yes.
Simon knows where I used to live before.
Yeah.
And I was paying like $300 something dollars. Living with 3 other people, share bathroom. Terrible.
Doesn't sound fun to me.
It's so bad. Like the accommodation in Ireland, it's so bad. So if you compare paying 15k in Ireland to Philippines, 15k here, you get a lot more here for 15k. A lot more. Your own place, pool, gym, your own bathroom, kitchen.
Yeah, you could pretty much say the pool and gym is free as it is in every single building here.
Yeah. In Ireland, there's no such thing as condos. There's actually barely no condos in Ireland. They're not allowed to build condos. So, and if you want to go to the gym, it's like a membership, you know, $20 a month or something like that, 25, something's 30.
All the small memberships, they're all add up.
Yeah, so it is quite expensive. Now, that being said, there's a squirrel right there. I'm gonna
Is
put the
there?
video. No. Yeah, there's a squirrel right there. Is that a squirrel?
Yeah, I think so.
That is a
Because all I
squirrel.
feel are the fucking flies.
Apart from that, we have obviously food expenses, going out places. Maybe you can talk about that since you lived in BGC longer.
So when it comes to like going to the supermarket in general, anything they have to import is more expensive here than in Germany. For example, in Germany, we pay about like 60 cents for 1 liter of milk. Here it's like $1.80, depending on what brand you get.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they don't get the milk from here, they import that. Or at least I would guess. Same is true with like fruits. Like you can't buy strawberries. Like 200 grams of strawberries are $10.
Yeah,
Or strawberries.
Yeah.
Same with like blueberries. But basically any berries. Anything they have to import is a lot more expensive here. But when it comes to local food, let's say rice, let's say, honestly I'm not sure
That's cheap.
what is local. That's cheap.
Yeah,
That's
rice
cheaper
is
than
pretty
Germany.
cheap. Yeah, like in terms of vegetables, it's much more expensive here, vegetables. But anything apart from that tends to be in the cheaper side.
It's more expensive when you go to the supermarket like Robinsons, for example. If you go to like local marketplaces, it's probably around the same price or cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you compare market to like an Uptown Mall, you'll know that you'll be paying sometimes for a piece of broccoli like this small. It's like 270 pesos for a piece of broccoli, or like a pepper. Peppers are so expensive. I didn't know peppers were that expensive. So it really depends what you want. Obviously, what your budget is. If you feel like you want to move to BGC, but you'll be stuck in terms of prices, you're better off honestly going to Pasig or Mandaluyong and not having, because not only you're gonna have to pay more for rent, you have to think about electricity. This tends to be more expensive in BGC, and then you have to pay more for groceries. So it's not just like moving to a place and it's just the rent. You have to take a lot of things in consideration. Also job as well. How far are you from your job? So, I mean, if you're gonna move here, you have to know how much it's gonna cost you, calculate it. Because like some people could live here, but what happens? You're broke and you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Let's say you go to a restaurant. If you just order for yourself and you don't get a drink, just a single meal, we usually talk about like 350 to 500 pesos per meal. If you go to like a higher end restaurant, maybe like 700 to 800 per meal.
Yeah. And now with inflation, so today I went to 11 Grounds, and some meals were before inflation was about 400 something. Now everything is like 520, 540. So
like 20-30% extra.
It's insane. It's actually crazy. Like I look at the prices now, I'm like, ugh. It almost feels like you want to order online.
Yeah.
Because it actually gets pricey. You eat here, you eat there, something there, something there. It adds up. Without realizing, you spend 900, 1,000 pesos. And you don't realize it adds up at the end,
I personally stopped like ordering drinks at places because you can pay like 150, 200 for coffee for like a mango shake. You can also buy like 3 liters of mango juice for the same price. And I don't care that much about a little bit of mango juice to my meal. or coffee, which we
Yeah.
can make ourselves.
No, I agree. It's too much.
Yeah.
That's why
Plus-
sometimes I order Americanos. Because I know if the Americano is going to cost me 100 pesos,
Yeah.
the latte is going to cost me 180 to 200.
Yes.
So it's like, oh. So it is tricky. It is tricky.
At least tap water is free. By the way, don't drink tap water. It's not good for you. But
And
it's free.
apart from that, what else could we take into account when it comes to?
I mean, let's say you go out to an event. For example, if you go to a concert here, most of the like main acts you would like to see, like I went to Heads on the Clouds, the festival by 88 Rising recently, last month. And then there's Blackpink in 2 months from now. There is, I think, One Republic soon. If you get tickets, normal tickets, they're like 5,000 each, so about, let's say, $80, which is a normal ticket price. But when it comes to like a better area, or you go for VIP tickets, you easily pay 15 to 20K. And that seems like quite a lot, especially because the, I would say extra perks that you get aren't necessarily good. I mean, you get like a free t-shirt, but you don't want to spend 10K for a free t-shirt. That's not really worth it. So when it comes to like events and acts, it might be quite expensive for people that like to go out to concerts and things like that.
I'm curious about gas prices, right? Because when I think about gas prices,
Oh, gas is cheaper here.
so cheap now for people living here is not that cheap, of course,
Sure.
right? But if you compare it to prices back in Ireland, it's so expensive.
Yes.
So when we're going on a boys trip, you get a full tank, it's like 2,000 pesos or like 3,000 depending on the car.
Yeah.
Small car is like 2,000 something.
1 liter is like what, 67 to 71?
Something like that.
Yeah.
To me, that's just crazy because I'd be like, whoa, if I had a car here and I could travel around, that sounds very affordable.
In Germany, it's twice the price.
And motorbikes. So motorbikes, well, I've been to a few places in the Philippines already, and when you rent a motorbike, if you want to get a full tank, example in Siargao or Siquijor or wherever you may be going, a full tank sometimes or half a tank is like 200, 300 pesos. So like it's really cheap.
And if you rent it for the day, it's also like 200-300.
Yeah, and yeah, if you can rent a motorbike for long term in one of those islands, it's so handy. So, but I don't know what you guys think, what the prices are like, because we have a different perspective, right? I mean, we're aware of how things work, but this is our own perspective. We're curious to see what your perspective is, how much you're paying for whatever you're paying, so we have a comparison, because people's expensive the fare, you know what I mean? Like some people can go to a restaurant every single day, and it wouldn't affect them at all.
Yeah.
Even if both people live in BGC, I wouldn't go out every single day for a restaurant.
But you do.
Although sometimes we do, which is terrible. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, guys, comment below what you think.
What I do have to say though, which I do prefer compared to Germany, if I want to buy internet here for my SIM card, right, for my phone, you can buy like 14 gigs for $299 and it lasts 30 days. As in, if you don't use that much of the internet outside, you just have to pay like $5 and you're done for the whole month. In Germany, the cheapest thing you get is $20, and if you want unlimited internet, that's $65.
I'm gonna give a shout out to one of my favorite apps, Gomo. Right, not sponsored, but I've been using Gomo for the past year
That
and a half.
sounds like a sponsorship, but I haven't heard of that.
No, so Gomo is like, well, if you use like Smarter Globe, you pay like, I don't know how many gigs, but it's not unlimited, right?
Yeah.
And it's like 500.
Even though it says Unli, it's not
Yeah.
limited. Maybe for Facebook,
Yeah,
which is
but
free, I
it's
think.
you pay like 400, 500 for like 20 gigs or something like that.
Yeah, roughly.
Somebody told me about Gomo before, and basically you get unlimited for 300 pesos, and it's like a third party for Globe, right? And I've been using it since. I never ran out of that, and it's really cool how they have so many options here in the Philippines. Like Gcash, you can basically pretty much pay anything you want in Gcash. You can pay your Globe bill. You can
Paid my internet bill yesterday or 2 days ago in that.
Yeah, so it's really handy. They don't have that in Europe.
Nope.
Paying with everything with apps. Everything is just
No.
paid by your bank account.
Yeah, you gotta make it like a transfer, bank wire.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
So in terms of that, it's much easier doing things here. Because who wants to wake up in the morning, go to a bank, pay your bills that way, when you can just wake up, go on Gcash, pay your Globe, and it's done and dusted.
Yeah.
So-
That being said, if you go to any legal office, let's say in Intramuros, and you have to deal with paperwork, paperwork
rough.
that's a different story, but that's not the topic of the video.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what else is there that we could compare to Europe or Germany or Ireland?
Do we talk about transport fees when it comes to Grab? Because
Oh.
Grab, compared to a taxi here, whew, that's so cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
Like in Germany, you easily pay, let's say from your place to the airport, let's say 10 kilometers. I would pay like 25 euros, so
yes,
like
yes, yes.
2,000 something pesos.
Same in
right?
Ireland. Actually,
Yeah.
you got that right.
Here it's like 150, 200 pesos for the same distance.
In Grab?
It's a lot cheaper, yeah.
From here to
The airport.
No. It'll be like from.
We can see the airport from our
Actually,
window.
let's test it out right now.
Yeah. Turns out we both have Grab.
All right.
I think it's gonna be 200.
I'll say it's 390. Let's check it
The
out.
only thing I
We're gonna
dislike.
test it.
Here's the only thing I dislike about Grab as well as Gcash. The moment you open the app, you get ads. And then you accidentally click it, and then it loads. Can I not just, please, pay like 10 pesos and get rid of ads?
362. 362 pesos.
Now you have
Is that
terminal.
is that a good price, guys? From BGC to Terminal 1, 362 pesos.
Okay, let's pretend it's midnight and you take a taxi and we round down. Then it's 200. So I think I'm right. Can't argue with that. Being said,
Anyway, so the point is, in Ireland you will be paying for that distance a lot
more.
And although here, now, but the thing is, now that I've been living here for 4 years, that to me now 360. It's kind of like
yeah.
So
Seems expensive.
you forget that you lived in Ireland and you stop comparing prices in Ireland because you're here now, so you shouldn't compare prices. That's the one thing that that I learned being here for long, or people coming into the country, is that everywhere they go, they're like, whoa, that's so cheap. And they compare everything to prices in Europe. So what happens is you actually start spending more and more because you think everything's cheaper. So you end up spending the same amount that you used to spend in Europe because you feel like everything is cheaper. So I think to get out of that mindset is think about in pesos, don't think in dollars or euro. Think about in pesos. Now when I look at this, I'm like, ooh, do I want to pay 400 pesos? It's kind of like,
And let's walk instead.
So, or walk or take Ankas, because Ankas could, you know, it's
Yes.
more cheaper, but it gets hot and everything. But I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. This is our perspective. I hope it's not unreasonable. But you guys judge. If you want to leave a hate comment, go ahead.
Yeah, do it.
Anyway, guys, see you in the next video and comment below what you think. Peace out.
Mabuhay.
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 So, that video must have been like 25 minutes.
Oh, fuck, my ass hurts.